Hey there, friends and enemies. Joper here again, and today I want to talk about the most underappreciated and underutilized weapon type in all of Cyberpunk 2077, the light machine gun. I feel like there are very few viable builds or playstyles with this, but if you want to be a walking tank, if you want to just kind of march towards your enemies, not caring about the damage they deal to you and just spraying them down one by one, this is going to be the way to do so. I found it to be a lot of fun. I was actually pleasantly surprised after testing a bunch of builds how much fun I was having with LMGs. In this gameplay, I'm going to use the Wild Dog because it's my favorite. I got it from the Phantom Liberty campaign, so definitely go chase that down if you don't have it already. But for me, this is the best of the LMGs in the entire game, and I am in love with it. It feels so good to use, and I would highly recommend chasing it down. Now, as far as the necessary perks that you're going to be running, Onslaught is the number one. If you're not running Onslaught, you might as well not run LMGs. A lot of other playstyles, like you can run shotguns without rip and tear. It's not going to make a lot of sense. You're going to do way more with rip and tear, but Onslaught for LMGs is absolutely mandatory. Essentially, the reload speed for LMGs is so slow that it just takes you out of combat for far too long. It can be incredibly frustrating. That's why Onslaught is so necessary. You, as long as you're getting kills, are going to be going from one enemy to the next and constantly refilling that ammo. I feel like a Titan with Actium War Rig on in Destiny 2, it feels really, really good, and I enjoy it. And it really changed my opinion on LMGs once I started using it with the Onslaught perk. The other perk that you're really going to need to use is Like a Feather. No movement speed penalty with shotguns, LMGs, and heavy machine guns. This, if you are picking up those heavy machine guns from the ground, if you're walking around with an LMG or with a shotgun, this is absolutely vital, and it makes the game feel much better, in my opinion. It is one of those things where you don't realize how sluggish you are until you swap over the things that are less sluggish. And so you want to definitely change this, have Like a Feather on as soon as possible, because it is necessary. All this other stuff is going to increase your damage, increase your potential with LMGs, but those two are must-haves. If you don't have them on when you're running an LMG, it's just going to feel bad. Now, the other thing that I like to do is use a lot of these health regeneration adrenaline rush perks as well, and essentially what I do is I'll pop my healing before I get into combat so I can increase my movement speed and damage, and then run around and just shred everything, especially because you are regenerating health anyway. I built into body, and so I have a lot of armor, a lot of health, and you essentially feel like a walking juggernaut. And that's what I wanted to with that, because I think it's the best way to use LMGs in this game. Otherwise, they can essentially feel underwhelming. Another nice thing about building into LMGs is that you can double dip, and if you make a build, you can run a shotgun LMG combo, and it works out really, really well. You essentially always have something really powerful to use. You have mid-range with the LMGs. You also have close range with the shotguns, and you don't really have to spec into anything different. Just one additional slot over here that's going to make a big difference. So that's why I tend to, with my LMGs, I almost always pair them with a shotgun if I can help it. Otherwise, there's a few other things to keep in mind. I was running some grenades to really set myself up for getting easy kills. So one of the things with the LMGs and the reload is you want to be able to get kills constantly. So if I toss a couple grenades in early, then I'm able to shred them down with my LMG, get the kill with that, and then reload. So I can be at like 15 bullets in my LMG and just get a couple enemies weak and then kill them both, and I'll get all of my ammo back essentially. So that's something to keep in mind. As far as your healing, you can actually swap the max stock over to something else that's going to give you like the bounce back, because you're going to be regenerating health over time, and that's going to allow you to pop it before you get into combat, so then as you start getting shot, you're still healing. You're not burning through all your healing before you need it. But from what I found, it's not really necessary. It doesn't matter all too much, because you already have enough of your healing regeneration for your items that you're constantly getting them back, and you don't have to necessarily worry about healing while you're using, because you just pop them one after the other to keep up your damage and your movement speeds and all that kind of good stuff. I think this looks ridiculous, by the way. The way she's holding this LMG is quite hilarious, but it is powerful. It is fun. Other than that, you can really customize a LMG build however else you want. Again, speccing into body is necessary. Whatever cyberware you run is up to you, because it doesn't really matter. I like to run things like, especially on my character, as far as the cyberware, I definitely have like Chitin on to get a bunch of armor on here, and so that really is helpful. Build into body and just make yourself a walking tank if you would like. But overall, I'd love to hear from you guys. What's your favorite weapon type to use, and what's your least favorite weapon type? For a long time, LMGs were my least favorite, and that's why I decided to test this out, just to see if I could make them any good. And yeah, with some different options there, better than I anticipated, but still not going to be meta defining or OP or anything like that. They just are a lot of fun, especially if you're in combat with a ton of enemies. If you're fighting waves, like I think they can be really, really awesome. And unfortunately, they do get overshadowed by SMGs and the handguns and the ARs and all that kind of good stuff. So that's just the way that they work. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out tremendously. Shows you want to see more Cyberpunk 2077 content from me going forward. We have reached a point where I think everyone's kind of come down from the high of Phantom Liberty. We're still searching for fun stuff to do. There's still a lot to explore in the game, and I'm having an absolute blast with it. Anyway, my name is JoPa. I hope you have a good one. I'll catch you all later.